I'm not against fertilizing at all. I'm just not heavy on synthetics. I feel like when you get into the NPK and the numbers get into the double digits, I feel like that's just like a lot of supercharged food. When it comes to fertilizing, you guys, I only hit my garden with fertilizer twice each season, and then I just feed my soil scraps. It's just that simple. I don't want to fertilize the garden so much till my soil depends on nutrients that I'm feeding it versus what's already locked in. So I'm more focused on building a good soil structure organically. Now this plant tone is organic. It's by Exfoma. I started the season off with Garden Tone by Exfoma, and I think it's a little less nitrogen forward versus this one, and I think I actually prefer that one to this one, because if you can see in my videos of spring, my garden really took off of the Garden Tone. But I can say before I started the season, I actually fertilized my beds maybe a month before I was going to plant, so a lot of that stuff did break down by the time I did plant out my transplant. So some stuff might have been already readily available. Now I'm not against fertilizing at all. I'm just not heavy on synthetics. I feel like when you get into the NPK and the numbers get into the double digits, I feel like that's just like a lot of supercharged food. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I will only use this maybe the beginning of the season and maybe before the end of the plant's life cycle, like maybe the middle of the season, and that's it. In between time, I know people say that they feed their plants like every week. I just don't have time for that. I know what I do have time for, and that might be a lot to other people. But if I'm cooking, or if I get something from the garden and it's raw, I don't cook it or put oil on it. I just make a trench and I just throw all of my kitchen scraps. Any plants that doesn't have any pest pressure or disease, I chop that up if it's done for the season, and I feed the soil that. And that's it. I feel like I've built my soil structure so much just from that. I have purchased some worms from like Walmart for like $1.97 a can. I will dump that in there the beginning of the season, and of course they will multiply by the end of the season, or maybe probably already halfway in. So I feel like it's just so important to build your soil structure, and when you build your soil structure, that will feed your plants, and when you feed your plants, of course that feeds you. But I just feel like that's like the best way to get a thriving garden. I've looked at countless amount of YouTube channels. I'm trying to be an inspired YouTube channel or TikTok influencer or whatever. The only thing I can say, if I'm starting a new bed or new grow bags or something like that, of course go ahead and hit it with fertilizer when you're first establishing your beds. But other than that, just let nature take its course. Like, that's all it is to it. I feel like I've learned about just letting things be. I guess with this move, I really had to start a lot of stuff over, which kind of put me in a funk a little bit without realizing it, because I knew I had to wait. I couldn't do too much. But if it comes to fertilization, if you found this helpful, write some things in the chat for you guys, what works for you. Like I said, I'm not opposed to fertilizing. I do not use synthetics. I try not to. I try not to. My first year I did experiment a lot, but this year, plant tone or garden tone, I actually will prefer. I would consider using this and then this first and then using garden tone, but at the end of the day, I think I might not even use this no more. I think I'm just stick to garden tone, because I actually amend my beds with horse manure at the beginning of the season too. So really don't need anything high in nitrogen unless you're like planting corn or something like that. Even with my corn, you guys, if you guys can go back into some of my videos, I did a real good harvest in a 3x3 bed. I only fertilized that corn maybe twice this season too, right in the beginning before I planted, of course, and you can see that video as well. And maybe halfway in it, I did hit it with some organic brown sugar and yeast fertilizer. I think I did that twice. So that was the only thing really new when it came to that corn, because it was my first, like my second year, like being well, my first year being successful, my second year planting, and it did great. But I hope you guys learned something from this video.